that I have this series, and we have just shown already that it does diverge, but we'll show this also with another technique. So what I'll do is I have the sequence part, the A sub n part. Here I'll write solution. A sub n is 1 over n. What I will do is I will model this with a function. Let's model this with f of x is 1 over x, where f of x, it is continuous, it is positive, and it's decreasing from 1 to infinity. So I'm looking, n starts at 1, goes to infinity. I'm not worried about my negative numbers right here. And I can say this, f of x is continuous, positive, and decreasing on the interval 1 to infinity. Those are the conditions to be able to use the integral test. And I really haven't shown a lot of this formally here, but I'm looking at this f of x is 1 over x. Where is f of x discontinuous? At 0. But I'm going from positive 1 to infinity. Now if I plug in numbers from positive 1 to infinity, it does stay positive. 1 over positive, positive. Decreasing? Yes. As the denominator gets bigger and bigger and bigger, 1 over x is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now you could show that formally right here, though. We're just going to say yes, that it's doing all that. So I can do this. I can find the integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x dx. And I'll write that as the limit. I'll use a t, the book used t, as t approaches infinity of the integral from 1 to t, 1 over x dx. What's the antiderivative of 1 over x dx? Natural log. So this would be the limit as t approaches infinity of the natural log of x from 1 to t. I will plug in the t. Let me write limit t approaches infinity of the natural log of t minus the natural log of 1. The natural log of 1 is 0, so that part's easy, but what about this limit? As t is going to infinity, what about the natural log of t? That does go to infinity. That's infinity. This improper integral diverges. And because the integral test, if and only if this diverges, this diverges. So I'm going to write by the integral test. When you take the test next week, let us know what test you're using. By the integral test, this series, as n goes from 1 to infinity of 1 over n, also diverges. And sometimes, if you read the math book, most all the time, they'll do something like this. They'll give a little symbol. I am done with this problem. Sometimes it's a little square they color in. Sometimes I've seen some of the grad students use like 2 lines like that that indicates I am done with that problem. Okay, so I want you to